any year, 2024 has also seen some bad movies, and that's why today I will go through those movies that, in my opinion, are the 6 worst movies of this year. We start off with Maxxxine, a movie that is the third from Taiwan, and that particular trio of movies. Rex and Pearl were the two first ones. This time around, it's just the worst as the first two. Mia God has not gotten better at acting, but still a Nazi, and I've already seen some most of the time. The movie is just plain boring, perhaps apart from the events at the end. Me, this one is a 4 out of 10 and a deserved top 6 on the list. In the 5th place, we have got Immaculate, yet another horror movie, but this time it is seen as Sweden Lero, which of course is not a good actor. She is just there because of the body, just like I mentioned in another movie. But anyways, it is an awfully slow-paced horror movie, just concerned with creating this mood where this place kind of thing, and very badly filmed scenes in the catacombs. Okay, yes, some small horror elements you see towards the end. The scene in Sweden has a race moment. But other than that, this is a pretty dull movie which cannot be given more than a 4 out of 10. At lonely fourth, we find a movie called Free Time, which apparently is a Gen Z comedy designed to make you laugh, but it definitely will not make you laugh unless, of course, you can find anything funny. Because this one just bores you with all stiff characters as well as the main character that quits his job and really does not do anything in a movie. I guess it may have a deeper meaning. It may be about Gen Z, but it does give Gen Z a very boring stamp if you take a look at this movie. And for me, it is never more than a 3 out of 10. At the third spot, we find the movie called Hitman, which was released at Netflix earlier this year. In other words, not only is it a bad movie, it is also a very overrated movie, where Glenn Powell is acted by Adrian Ronia in the role, as he tries to play this fake hitman where the comedy never really works, and it takes you on a ride to see how Netflix has ruined action comedy these days, because it is all about including characters, and a lead character is based on someone that actually killed somebody. So Netflix has kind of fucked the story, to say it in light words. But anyways, this mediocre shit is for me just a 3 out of 10. In the second place, we find an awful movie where Russell Crowe just looks tired and lethargic, just like he did in Poker Face, in a title which almost has the same title as one other similar movie he did called The Pope's Exorcist. While this one is called The Exorcism, he basically is taken over by a demon after he involves himself in a play with a quite sinister story. Basically, he is obsessed by a foreign entity, but the movie is very slow. Russell Crowe does a weak act, and the same can be said about Chloe Bailey, which is just here to promote herself and LGBTQ, where is here forming a relationship with co-star Ryan Simpkins. There's very little tension in it, very little horror, and while it may be a scary mood, the movie progresses much too slow, and it is much more about feelings than actual depth. So for me, it's a plain 3 out of 10, and it deserves to be called the second worst movie of this year. At the lonely top of the worst movies this year, we have got the movie called The Mousetrap. Oh yes, Mickey was free to use now suddenly without asking, and how bad did it get? People talk about that Winnie the Pooh horror movie being bad, but then they have never seen this one. While that first elusive and controversial movie at least had some tension and decent horror scenes, this one has neither of that. The characters are stiff, none of them seem scared. There's no tension, this funhouse place is not cool at all. In general, it is just a very weak movie that really is by true definition some of the worst you could ever create. Perhaps that was also the point, but for me this one is 2 out of 10, and it was an absolute nightmare to get through, with the Mickey Mouse character perhaps the only character that was worth seeing the movie for.